Hi, welcome, Brendan and Mackenzie. Thank you for being here with us today. I'm Kim Breen, and I'm happy to be a facilitator to kind of get to hear about both of you, hear your stories a little bit, and we're going to get to share your stories with educators who are trying to figure out where do the arts fit in school? How can they integrate the arts into the way they teach other content matter? How can they expose students to the arts? And then another area we're really focusing on is making sure we're taking care of the social emotional needs of students and their wellness. So I would love to just let you sort of introduce yourself to our audience. If you could, Mackenzie, just share a little bit about yourself, what school you're in, what grade, and kind of just a little bit of your experience with the arts, and then we'll go deeper into it in just a moment.
Okay. Hi, my name is Mackenzie Franklin. I go to LACSA, Los Angeles County High School for the Arts. I'm graduating class of 2021, so I'm a senior right now. I'm in the theater department. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I went to like a Montessori in Morgan Park. So I started acting when I was about like 7. I really feel like acting and theater and just arts in general really help make a well-rounded person and individual. And it allows for creativity to flow naturally. And I honestly love it wholeheartedly. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I think we would have been neighbors. So I'm still in Chicago and we don't live far from Morgan Park. So that's awesome. Brendan, you guys share a connection in terms of school, don't you?
We do. We both graduated from LACSA. However, I did graduate 2016, so it's a bit of a difference. And then I went on to train at USC Kaufman School of Dance. I was the part of their second graduating class, which was pretty cool, super roughing out the kinks, but it was really beautiful. It was really fun and happened to graduate 2020 during COVID. So I'm at home, still training a few times a week. And I've been able to do an arts internship. And I'm really been reflecting on my path as an artist because I've been training in dance since I was in about 4th grade. And going to an art school really just for sure changed my life. I wouldn't have ended up at USC. And after COVID hit and stepping away from the arts, I stepped back in a few months later with like wholehearted, and I was like, wow, this is really the scope in which I see things. So it's been really nice to kind of improve that relationship again.
Awesome. Awesome. So I hear you both describing your relationship with the arts as really part of your identity. And even I think I hear you both saying what brings you some wellness, like social, emotional, mental wellness. Mackenzie, would you comment a little bit more about that in terms of, knowing that you're talking to some teachers who are trying to figure out how do we give students access to the arts, even if they aren't an art school, and maybe what it's meant for you just in terms of being a healthy person.
Yeah. So I've gone to both like performing arts kind of schools and just like regular schools, and just reading like different texts, going back to Shakespeare, like Greek mythology, just anything that's not just like your regular reading really just brings everybody together, and it helps like understands characters and how it's like similar to life experiences. And I definitely think that incorporating different means of teaching, like hands-on experience, definitely improves, and it keeps like students engaged, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Brendan, how are you connecting to that idea of what the arts have done for you to help you feel grounded? I love you're connecting even to like during this challenging time.
Hmm.
So you can comment on like right now, but even maybe try to think back to when you were younger as well.
Totally. So kind of what Mackenzie was saying, I feel like dance or studying art has given me perspective because we study so many different choreographers, so many different dancers. No matter what art field you're in, you study other people's perspective and you're with a different group of individuals who are also interested in perspective. So you get to really think differently, reroute your brain. And for me, I'm just kind of realizing this. Dance has been my meditation for so long without me knowing it. Because I have really bad ADHD. Growing up, I was never able to sit still. Even now, I can't really meditate for too long just because I get restless. But when I'm at the ballet bar, I'm able to just kind of get in a mode, and it's 45 minutes of just me with the space around me, really finding my meditation for that day. And that's kind of where I'm at in COVID too, because I am not dancing for 8 to 10 hours a day. So I start my day with a small ballet bar to just really get set for the day, not just align my body physically, but align my body emotionally.
I love that. Mackenzie's connecting with that as well, I see, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely when I was younger, I was kind of like introverted, and definitely acting like brings like you out of your shell. And I feel like I've definitely grown as a person just these past 4 years, just like the different people you get to meet and the different things that you get to learn about yourself and just your body and stuff. It's amazing. Yeah. So I agree.
That's awesome. So I don't know if everyone would think of it that way, right? So giving students access to the arts, and you both commented in different ways. So the arts where you can move, so like dance, and then even the arts through literature or theater, right, is a way to sort of get to know yourself better and get to know others better, and also a way to find some peace. And so would you both comment just a little bit more about how is that looking right now during COVID? So we have teachers who are teaching online, and you've probably heard a lot of people are struggling with getting students to show up online and to engage. Any thoughts on how the arts could help in those ways?
um, yeah. So at my school, I'm a theater rep. And one of four theater reps. And we've definitely found that like art classes are great because it's a way for them to step away from, I'm in school mode, I have to learn this, I have to memorize this, into, okay, this is fun, this is relaxing. It's definitely transformed from when we were in person, because obviously like things have to, but it still is a creative safe space for everybody. um i I think that just the art teachers have really tried to like communicate and try to like give less work, because it's a pandemic and because it's a lot of like just mm, a lot of stress and a lot of just anxiety. So yeah, just
I love that. Yeah, I want to comment on that, Mackenzie, because there are school leaders all over struggling right now with how to best serve students and how to even take care of their teachers, because the teachers are also very stressed, right? And you really hit on something that it looks like the recommendation is to do less better. So give less work, make it more meaningful, right? Do less direct instruction when you're online, but make it richer. So the students are like debating about the content and talking about it, and maybe getting time to reflect. So I love that you said that your teachers are doing that, because I can kind of hear it and see it in you that you don't seem super stressed, right? Has that part of helping you to feel, better during this otherwise really hard time?
most definitely, yeah. The arts teachers are very considerate. They understand that like it's a pandemic and everybody's going through everything. Like, and I'm really lucky because I have super supportive parents as well. And so like I think that just trying to engage the students and trying to figure out ways where they can talk to each other, because I know the ninth graders, they don't know anybody, they just know boxes on Zoom. And I feel like trying to do projects where, hey, this isn't going to negatively impact your grade, but you're going to need to talk to these people. because you need to know people. Everybody needs a support system. And so, yeah, just support and understanding, definitely.
Great. That's great because now I hear you, what like the teachers would refer to that as like SEL or social emotional learning, because you're talking about, practicing communication skills and having connections and relationships with others. Brendan, are you connecting with where Mackenzie's going in terms of like mental wellness during COVID?
Yeah, totally. I feel like the part that there's a big gap in right now is community. So I think kind of where we have to start moving is how can we better the community? How can we better each other? I really can only speak with personal experience with Zoom University for dance and academic classes in my last semester at USC. Academic classes, it's fine. It's not ideal because you want to be in there learning with the teacher, but for dance, I think it's moving past like ballet in the kitchen. That can work some days, but I think it's figuring out what other models. It's a completely different model. It's so different. So I think it's about maintaining like open communication, like what you were saying within faculty of how do we separate what we've done and how do we make it less but better information. So not an hour of ballet in your kitchen, which sometimes is great. Sometimes I mean I do it a couple times a week, but also maybe assignments that have to do with academics, assignments that have to do with other art forms and integrating those.
I love that. So you're saying sort of take advantage of this opportunity. So take advantage to maybe, so there's a phrase they say sometimes, go slow to go fast.
Mhm.
And so it's almost like you're saying back up and maybe read more about the dance form you love, where maybe that wouldn't have been part of it before, right? You would have been constantly in the doing mode. So I love that you're saying maybe, and because teachers can apply that to many different things. They can apply to different art forms, but also even to their academic instruction. So it's almost like think of doing it. Don't try to do what you always did in person
No,
online, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just kind of a shift, which I mean, hey, we all resisted it, and I'm still resisting it in some ways, but sometimes we just got to surrender and let the wave take us.
Right. So let me ask you both about student leadership because you're being leaders right now by really helping adults to get a sort of a window into the student perspective. And I can tell that you're leaders amongst your peers. Can you share a little bit about maybe opportunities you've been given over the years to help support peers in any way, or to help maybe be kind of to speak for or speak on behalf some of the work, and what that has meant to you to have that opportunity to be a student leader?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I'm a theater rep at school. And during like the interview, I proposed a newsletter, which is Adapt, Improve, Maintain. And so now it's December and we sent out our last newsletter of the first semester. And basically, it's there to support peers and just to send out like information that they need. Like it was December, we had finals. This is still finals week. So I sent out like mental health, like information and how to study for finals and what to do after finals to relax and like time management. And it's basically there to set a nice foundation for the ninth graders and to continue to set a great foundation for the 12th graders who are going to go to college now. So yeah, that's what I'm doing to support my peers. We also have game nights, which are fun ways to like just to get everybody talking and not just talking about school and what assignment is due. Just yeah, so we have just fun little moments.
Awesome. That goes so far in terms of student wellness because we have a lot of young people right now in the country who are feeling very down. So, it's good for people to hear, like sometimes just organizing games and ways to play and have fun. Those really are mental health strategies, right? We could call it just playing, but it really does make a big difference. Brendan, anything that you want to add there in terms of, you could think back when you were in younger grades and or even in your recent college experiences?
So in terms of student leadership, I really think of being inspired by peers and creating a community among your cohort. And so for me, it's been a lot of stage, like on stage, watching peers or being on stage and really being the most vulnerable you can and allowing that to lead an entire room and to inspire an entire room, because that's the point of performance. It's to not a selfish thing. It's to go on stage for the audience and simply that. And also something that has meant a lot to me in terms of leadership is mentorship. Mentorship has been huge and it's changed my life. I've had mentors since I basically started dance, and that's kind of where I'm at a crossroads right now between graduation, pre-professional, professional. I have an opportunity to mentor my students who I choreograph for or teach, and it's just really an opportunity to just give them little like nuggets of advice and of wisdom that I feel so grateful for and that I would love to help shape the next generation, because that's the point of the arts. It's passing on through word of mouth, through movement, through everything.
I love that. And we certainly need mentors right now. I want to thank you both so much for taking the time to join me. I'm so grateful teachers got to hear your voice in this moment. So thank you for sharing what you have. Awesome. Thank you guys both so much for sharing what you have so far. Knowing that teachers are listening right now and principals and other school and district leaders, do you have any thoughts of what you would like them to know from a student perspective about how important the arts are and how important it is that we should try to find a way to incorporate the arts all throughout school days, not just special time for the arts, but also like how to integrate it within what they're doing throughout their day?
Yeah, definitely. I believe that arts are very important because it teaches people to be like empathetic, and that's is what we need right now. Just empathy and kindness. And I would say just to integrate like time for like play, like just, hey, express what you're doing, what you love. Like, we have like a show and tell day where we like show our art, but I just allowing students to relax and breathe and be themselves, I would say.
Awesome. Perfect.
Totally. So I really agree with that in terms of what you were saying with play. I think play is so important in whatever you do, especially within the arts. It's like I was once told something like take your art seriously, don't take yourself seriously, and I think that's so important. I also think that arts education is so vital because it really teaches people they can be whoever they want to be, and it allows you to kind of explore all these different avenues of you so that it can really help shape your identity. I mean, you can do a dance and pretend you're a prima ballerina or you're a sad pandemic living person like we all are. You can have everywhere in between that, and so it really identity, acceptance of self, acceptance of others. Yeah, I think it's really important.
I love that. So in all the ways that schools are trying to help support young people to feel good about who they are and to even get to know their culture and other people's cultures, like to feel good about themselves and to feel about their place in the world and the rest of the world. You all are saying that the arts in any of its forms are one of the best ways to let youth do that.
Most definitely. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, it's super important.
And thank you again. We wish you the best in everything that you have ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.